Okay, so um this is a top, you guys, that everyone's been asking me, hey, how do you make that top and all that good fun stuff. So this is the top. I have a few of them and I need to get in here and make some videos for them so people can do them. And I don't want to do the patterns anymore. I don't want to have to sell the stuff because it took time for me to create it when I can just show you guys how I make them here. So we're just going to jump in. So I started this one already because I have a customer who wants it. It's a little bit bigger because they wanted it a bigger size. Just remember everything that I do, measure it out on yourself or on the person that you're making it for. That way you know you're making it the right size. That's the most important part. So this is where we start, right here. And all these are double crochets, okay? So measure it out and make your chain so that it at least goes from the side of one waistline on the left all the way over to the right of your waist. It just covers the front, and that's what I would suggest to do. Okay, so do that. So I did all of my double crochets, just one row, because I put my shell stitch on at the end of my project. And then what I did was, well, right now what I'm going to do is turn some of this wonderful sounding Bridgerton soundtrack down just a little. So I have all of my double crochets. If I can tell you guys what I use, I'm personally medium large. So what I did was I did my chain enough to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait a minute. I don't count this one because that's 2 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, and 70. So that would be 70. So that would be 70 and 2 chains. So I would chain 72. I would do 70 double crochets across. And then when you finish the 70 double crochets, chain 2. Chain 2 is this chain you see here. Okay, it's going to count as that first double crochet. And then what you're going to do is do a V-stitch. Okay, and the V-stitches are pretty much what I'm about to show you right now. I'm going to take a couple off right here just so you can kind of have an idea. Sorry, I weave in my ends. So I'm going to take a couple off just so we can be in the same place. Okay, and in order to make a V-stitch, and I'm going to put a V-stitch every 2 double crochets. So as you can see, there's 2 in the middle there. There's a V-stitch, skip 2. Okay, so when you're on this row, you're going to skip 2 double crochets, make a V-stitch. A V-stitch consists of 1 double crochet, okay, 1 double crochet, 1 chain, and a double crochet. Okay, and then when you get to the end, do nothing but yarn over and do 1 double crochet into that very last stitch, and then you're going to chain 2. Okay, so what you're going to do in order to make this top is you're going to do, as you can see here on this one, you're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of V-stitches. Hopefully that makes sense. We're going to make 5 rows. Okay, so in order to make the 5, do like I was showing you before. Okay, yarn over, make V-stitches into the existing V-stitches from the previous row. just like you see me doing here. Make V stitches in all of the V stitches from the previous row. Okay? And we're going to do this all the way across till we get to the end of the row. If you need help learning any stitches, you look on my stream. There's a crochet basics section, and it'll show you all the basics of crochet so that you can kind of get a little bit more comfortable with the different stitches and how they work with one another, and how all those basic stitches eventually turn into what you see here. That one's a little too loose for me, so I'm going back. These stitches all the way across. All the way across. Last V stitch in this row, yarn over, and you're going to put a double crochet into the top of those 2 chains that we used as a double crochet. Okay, so as you can see, I have 3 rows. The top requires 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actually, 5 rows. Okay, but we're only going to do 1, 2, 3 rows, and then you can see where it starts. After, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, then there's a single double crochet into those center ones. Okay, so let's do that. So we're going to go across until we get to the center 2, and I'm going to count ahead. I don't like to have any I don't like the guessing work, so I am going to straighten you guys up a little bit here. Okay, once I get you a little bit more straight, I am going to then show you how I do that. It's not as hard as you would think, so bear with me, I'll get you there. It's really not difficult. It's just about getting her done. Let's get this out of my way. Okay, so hopefully that's a little bit better visually. Okay, so we're gonna count first because I want to get to the center 2 stitches right here where it's just single. Okay, and that should be pretty easy. I'm going to count from this side on both sides. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so when it's even, I'm going to put a single crochet into this 1 stitch. Okay, and that's all I do. I think a lot of people think this is super difficult, that part of it. Nope. And then I'll just stick something random. I normally have stitch markers out, but I'm not going to make you guys wait for me to go grab my stitch marker again. That wouldn't be nice. So let's get back to it here. Okay, hopefully you can see that a little bit better. So V stitch all the way across until I get to that 1 stitch. All the way across until I get to that 1 stitch. V stitches all the way across until we get to that 1. all the way until we get down to that one. And you guys can't see it, but I'm sitting here and it just started to pour down raining. I wish I could show you guys. Oh my goodness. I mean, it really just started to pour down. So, yeah, that's not good, right? It's like, no. Okay, so let's get back to it. V-stitches all the way down till we get to that stitch marker, which we're almost there. Okay, now I'm at the stitch marker. I'm going to take it out. Then I'm just going to do 1 double crochet there. Let me make sure that's all I did. Actually, I chained 2 in the middle, so I was really getting ready for that. So let's come off, go back. Let's chain 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1 double crochet, chain 2, V-stitch. And as you can see, I've created that space for that nice little ripple going up the top of this top. Okay, so let's stick with that all the way across to your V-stitches. I'm going to do 1 more row of this, and that's going to be the end of part 1 of this top, because I don't want to make your video so long. I want you to have the time to work this part out and then come back to the video and get the rest of it. That way you can do what I do when I first start making tops. I think I unravel my tops about 2 or 3 times. So when people say, oh wow, you made that so fast, I'm thinking, you're seeing my finished product. So I absolutely love your positivity and your kindness, because I was so frustrated when I made this. So yeah. So I'm all the way to the end, and I'm hoping you guys can see that. I'm going to look at this video and make sure that it's viewable, because you know what? I will redo it again and make sure it's perfect for you. And then I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to turn it. And now you can see when I lift it, it has that space that it's starting to make here. And we're going to use that space to move into the next stage, okay? So the next stage, it's the stage that I think most people were super excited about. This is where we start to make the shell stitch, okay? So we're going to make the shell stitch here because I want it to be perfect, okay? So I've done that. And in order to make that first row shell stitch, what I do, I'm going to show you here, is I go into that first V-stitch and I make a shell. In order to make my shell, I do 3 double crochet, chain 1, and then do another 3 double crochet into the same exact stitch. I hope that makes sense. So in the first one, we're just going to do 1 double crochet, okay? And then going into the second V-stitch, I'm going to do 3 double crochets, 1 single chain, and then another 3 double crochet. Okay, and that's what I'm going to do. Then I'm going to skip 1 V-stitch. Then I'm going to go into the next one. I'm going to do 3 double crochets, 1 chain, 3 more double crochet. Okay, then I'm going to skip 3 double crochets, skip 1 V-stitch, then make another shell stitch. So basically you're putting a shell stitch in every other existing V-stitch from the previous row. Remember that shell stitch, skip 1, That shell stitch consists of 3 double crochets into that V-stitch, and in the same V-stitch make a chain, and then make 3 more double crochets. Okay, and we're gonna do that until we get to that, till we get to this single area. And then right before we get to that very last one, because as you can see, I got some shell stitches happening. These are the 2 before the line spacing for the bust. Okay, so what I'm going to do in order to make this flow very nicely is I'm going to put three double crochets, 1 chain, 3 double crochets again, because that's my shell stitch. Okay, then we're gonna chain 4, skip that space, and that's what happens on that first row. Okay, that's what we do on our first row. Okay, so I'm going to take this out. You're going to see how frustrated I get. But not for this one. This is me explaining how to do this process, and I want to make sure that you guys get it right. Okay, so don't forget, start with your chains, your 1 row of double crochet, and then you're going to do your 3 rows or 4. You have to make sure that you have the width and the length that you need. So do as many V-stitch rows as you need. I only did 3, but you can do 4. And then when you get to that 4th or 5th row, however many you would like to do, instead of putting V-stitches in all the row, you're going to count from both ends till you get to the center. When you get to the center, you're going to put a double crochet by itself in the center, because that's going to create that line you need to start building up. Okay, and then when you finish your desired V-stitch rows and you created that 1 single double crochet into that center V-stitch, remember your next row is shell stitches. Okay, now in this top I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shell stitches on both sides, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, but if you have less, it's fine. You have more, it's fine. Remember, this is supposed to fit you or whoever you're gifting it to. So I'm going to end the video now, and we're going to do another one where we pick up where we left off. Have fun, guys. Thanks.